Really soon, I'll be taking my first visit to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, where I'll be hopefully riding all the coasters. In this video, I'll be showing my ranking of all the coasters before I go. So starting off at number 19, we have Wilderness Run, which is an Intamin family coaster. It's actually the first ever Intamin. Not much there to say. It's just a kind of boring layout with a couple airtime hills, but yeah. So on to number 18. At number 18, we have Woodstock Express, which is a Vekoma family coaster. This ride has many layouts clones across the world, including one at Energylandia and a couple others. But this one is the only Vekoma at Cedar Point before Sirens Curse. And yeah, I haven't ridden one of these, but I've heard they have some pretty intense forces at times. Kind of, whatever. It's a family coaster. So, not much else to say. Moving on to number 17. At number 17, we have Corkscrew, which is an aerodynamics custom looper. It was actually the first ever roller coaster to feature 3 inversions, and it's honestly really cool how it looks over the minute. Wait, I just heard it's like really rough and very has a lot of headbanging. But yeah, I feel like it would be nice. I want to try a ride getting a back row ride because that first drop and that airtime hill before the loop would look amazing. But yeah, other than that, it looks like a nothing burger of a rough roller coaster. And I don't even hate Arrow. It's just this ride looks horrible. Other than that, so yeah. On to number 16. At number 16, we have Cedar Creek Mine Ride, which is an aerodynamics mine train coaster, and it genuinely seems not good. It's like a mine train. It looks really cool because it's kind of like a hybrid coaster, but it just looks like jank. So pure jank for this ride. It is in the back of the park. I'm pretty sure it's near Maverick and Steel Vengeance. I don't know. I've never been yet, but it does feel like a solid ride. Well, if you ignore all the jank, pain, and pain. So yeah, I'll probably this is probably gonna be a one and done. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. So hopefully, I'm gonna come off saying that wasn't that bad, and not that sucks. So yeah. At number 15 is Wild Mouse, which is a Zamperla freeform twister coaster. Now you might be thinking, wait, this does not look nothing like a normal Wild Mouse. Well, kind of. This is more or less kind of like a Cursor bobsled if Zamperla made it. Kind of. Where like it's not just a wild mouse and it has more, but it's also a wild mouse at heart. Whatever. It's a nice, cool spinning wild mouse, and on it's the third newest coaster if we count Top Thrill 2 as a new coaster, and it's added by the Borgard Clock. So yeah, this generally seems like an interesting ride. I'm not the biggest wild mouse fan, but this one I feel like it seems really solid because it's not just the turns. So yeah. Anyways, on to number 14. At number 14, we have Blue Streak, which is a PTC wooden coaster. And the reason it's this low is because for two things. One, because I've heard it's rough by some people, but I've also heard others that it's smooth. And two, because it's literally just a smaller version of Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, which is at my home park. So it's I don't think it's gonna be better, especially with the fact that I literally have a bigger and better version of this ride at my home park. So I don't know. It does look cool, and I mean it's a piece of Cedar Point's history, so I gotta give it that much. But I genuinely feel like I'll come out saying, "Wow, this is literally just like Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, but so much worse." Maybe not that harsh, but I don't think it's gonna be up there. I feel like it's gonna be definitely one of the weaker ones. So, anyways, on to number 13. At number 13 is Iron Dragon, which is an aerodynamic suspended coaster. Now, in a similar case to Blue Streak, I can't put this one too high because I literally have an air. Because yeah, I've ridden an air suspended coaster at my home park, and it's probably the best one. So it's like I can't put this too high, but it does seem to have a fun scenic layout around a lake, and it does have some, and it does seem to have a, yeah. It's also pretty lengthy as opposed to Vortex, which is short. but intense. So I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out when I ride it, but hopefully it's good. So yeah, don't really have that much else to say about Iron Dragon. So on to number 12. At number 12 and number 11, we have both sides of Gemini, which are aerodynamics hybrid coasters. So now this ride is a kind of dueling coaster. Well, it is a dueling coaster. But it's kind of also a family coaster, but not really. It's just really big. I feel like this ride, yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I don't know how it runs. I've heard some people say it runs stupid rough. I heard some people say it runs really smooth. But this ride is also like probably gonna get scrapped soon. So hopefully both sides are open, so I can get both credits before this ride probably closes for good. So yeah, generally this is one of the coasters that I'm really excited to ride. Not really because of the force, because it doesn't seem to have much, but it's mainly because it's gonna close soon. So I don't know how long it's gonna last. So yeah, on to number 10. At number 10 is Magnum XL 200, which is an aerodynamics hypercoaster. This is the first coaster to reach over 200 feet tall, and it generally seems like it's either going to be one of the best in the park or like one of the worst rides ever created. I don't know, so that's why I'm putting it in the kind of in the middle of the list. So yeah, it generally seems like a fun ride. Those triangle hills looks insane. I don't know if they're gonna be painful or not. Probably will, but yeah. I mean, I guess I'll find out when I ride it. But yeah, it just looks like a fun ride. It's really cool. I don't know if you have to go through the water park to enter it. I just know the ride goes along the water park and the shore. But yeah, this ride just looks like I said, either is going to be the best or the worst. No in between. It's one of those rides. But yeah, like it's prototype hyper, so it might not be as good as other hyper coasters that I've ridden. So yeah, on to number 9. At number 9 is Ruguru, a B&M floorless coaster, technically. It does run floorless trains, but this did start out as a stand-up coaster. So technically, it's a stand-up. It does have a layout of one, but I feel like this ride looks severely underrated. I mean, I haven't ridden it yet, but it feels like a really solid ride, honestly. Like I've heard that incline loop is amazing. Like I might go and figure out how it is after I ride it, but it generally feels like a solid layout. So hopefully, I'm not proven wrong, and it is actually a solid coaster. Because yeah, it doesn't look that bad. And I've heard it doesn't draw a line, so like I mean it could easily just get on and off, and if I don't hit it, at least it didn't waste an hour for it. Wait, sorry, if I don't like it, then it didn't waste an hour for it. But still, yeah. So that's all I have to say for Rougarou. Moving on to number 8. At number 8 is Gatekeeper, a B&M wing coaster. This ride is honestly pretty cool looking, especially when it threads through the keyholes right on the Cedar Point entrance. I've heard it's pretty forceless unless you're in the back. But still, I feel like the zero G roll and inline twist by the entrance look honestly amazing. And yeah, it looks awesome. Second half looks kind of eh. Could have thrown in a roll. But still, the rest looks amazing. And it genuinely looks awesome how like you walk up and you could literally be entering Cedar Point and the ride can literally be going through like a zero G roll when you're entering. How cool is that? Like Canada's Wonderland. Like I know you have Leviathan, but you need a front entrance. You need a real front entrance coaster. Take notes. Seriously, Canada's Wonderland. Take notes. But yeah, it's really all I have to say about Gatekeeper so far. On to number 7. At number 7 is Valraven, a B&M dive coaster. This ride, starring and technically is tied with Yukon Striker as the tallest dive coaster, second tallest rather, but technically not because Yukon has insane drop, and I'm pretty sure this ride's a foot short or something like that. But yeah, dive coasters are just fun. So this one seems really cool. Yeah, it's kind of it's not really unique, but like it's really interesting, honestly. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be better than Yukon Striker, because when you start Anna's Wonderland, you literally have some of the best of everything. But I feel like it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I genuinely can't wait to ride this soon. So on to number 6. At number 6 is Raptor, a B&M invert. This ride is up high mainly because one, I like intensity, and two, I've never ridden a B&M invert. I've ridden 2 SLCs. That's it. Blame Canada for having an SLC instead of an invert at their main park. But yeah, this ride looks awesome. I love intense rides. So I'm going to try to get a back row ride on this, and hopefully the G's will be nuts. No, sorry, not hopefully, they will. Like, that loop looks insane in the back. That Zero Giro looks amazing. And some of those helixes look awesome. So, yeah, this definitely is going to place up near the top of my list. And I mean, as someone with only 30 credits, it's hard. It's not that hard to get up there. And yeah, this is definitely like going to be a really good ride. I don't think it's. I hopefully it doesn't run rough. I don't think it will, but at least I get to ride one of the old Ruby and inverts. So yeah, that was number 6. On to number 5. At number 5 is Millennium Force, an Intamin Giga Coaster. This ride looks honestly amazing, and as someone who's ridden only one Giga Coaster, and that is Leviathan, this ride's kind of different. This ride focuses a lot on overbanks. Well, Leviathan is more airtime, so I feel like it's gonna be really unique because like I've never done a B&M, sorry, an Intamin Hyper, or well, not really Hyperion, an Intamin Giga Coaster, and like I've never done that much Intamins because there's like I think one in Canada. It's at La Ronde. I've never been to La Ronde, and like the only one I've done is Hyperion. So I'd like so I feel like this. I want to compare this to Hyperion kind of and Leviathan. And this ride looks awesome. I don't know if it's gonna be forceful or forceless. We'll find out. But yeah, this ride looks pretty cool on the skyline. It's iconic, definitely. Hopefully, it's not that bad of a wait, but you never know. It might be like you have to wait like an hour and it's forceless. Hopefully not. Um, yes, also has a really cool setting because like the lift hill is parallel to the lake. That's awesome. So yeah, moving on to number 4. At number 4 is Sirens Curse. This was North America's first tilt coaster to open, and it looks awesome. It has like a twisted drop, kind of like a non-inverting loop technically, 2 inversions. It looks awesome, and it's actually the most recent coaster Cedar Point has opened, and only the second Vekoma after Woodstock Express. It generally looks like an awesome ride, and it's probably one of the most themed rides at Cedar Point. Probably, I don't know, I've never been there. The theming looks awesome, and it genuinely looks to have an amazing experience. And yeah, I've never done a tilt coaster, so I wonder how it's gonna feel. I don't know if it's gonna feel like a dive coaster or not, because I don't know. I've done a dive coaster, never done a tilt coaster, so I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this ride deserves to be up in the top 3 because it generally looks to be elite with the airtime and the mix of airtime inversions. So yeah, that was Sirens Curse. On to number 3 and the top 3. The first coaster in the top 3 is Top Thrill 2 as the Amperla Lightning, but it's also an Intamin accelerator. This ride looks nuts. It genuinely looks like one of the best roller coasters ever made. It's got the height, it's got the insane speed. I don't know about length because it's literally just like 2 big things, but still, it looks awesome. Like as someone who never ended up, who didn't get to Cedar Point in time for the original, and has never been to this park, and never ridden the Strata, This looks awesome. Like genuinely, this is gonna be now my new tallest and fastest coaster. Because before that was Leviathan. This looks like an S tier ride. This genuinely looks like it can be number one, but I feel like the other two coasters, the next two coasters, will definitely be higher. But it genuinely looks like an awesome ride. Like I won't be surprised if I come out saying, "Yeah, that's like in my top three coasters of all time." Like I mean, it's not that hard since I've ridden 30 so far, but it just looks so good. And I've heard there's some solid airtime on that dropped off of the top hat. Still, hopefully it starts open. I don't know. I've heard it's actually a good uptime, which is awesome. Which means there's a high likelihood of me riding it. And yes, I'll be sitting on the stands just to get some footage. This ride looks awesome. I don't know if I said that enough. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, my new tallest, my new fastest, not my new longest. That's gonna be, I think, Millennium Force. But yeah, like it looks amazing, and I feel like for basically most of these coasters, expect separate reviews once I get out to the park. So yeah, on to number two. Moving on to the top two. At number two, we have Maverick, an Intamin Blitz coaster. So this is actually the prototype Blitz coaster, and it honestly looks like one of the best. I don't know. It might not be better than Velocicoaster. Well, I don't know because I've never ridden Velocicoaster, but it looks so good. Like genuinely, as someone who loves intensity a lot, this ride is gonna be for me. Like I don't know if I like the soft straps, but I just feel like intensity is perfect for me. Like Zod's my favorite coaster of all time, and that's really intense. This ride is really known for being stupidly intense. I'll probably love it. And I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you haven't ridden this ride and you haven't spoiled it, the surprise, well, surprise, everyone knows what it is, but I'm not gonna spoil it if you don't. The surprise is amazing. It genuinely looks like one of the best rides. Like, and I feel like if they bring back the Heartland roll soon, I don't know if that's gonna count as new credit. You guys can decide that down below. But I genuinely cannot wait to get back if it bring back the Heartland roll. But yeah, this ride looks awesome, nuts. Looks like one of the best coasters ever made. Like like after this trip, this genuinely might be Intamin's magnum opus. Like right now, the only Intamin I've ridden is Hyperion. This ride looks way better than Hyperion. Like Hyperion is a really good ride, but this ride looks a lot better. And yeah, like I'm gonna try to get a back row ride because that first drop looks amazing. So yeah, this park is generally stacked with so much good rides. Well, yeah, like I genuinely cannot wait. This is genuinely like the top four of this park's roller coasters were in my bucket list coast. Were in my like top 30 bucket list coasters. Speaking of, I was actually planning to do a video on my top 30 bucket list coasters. I was like genuinely like this like the day I'm recording this. I was genuinely thinking of like, okay, might as well like record it, the top 30 buckets, start recording that. And then I found out I'm going to Cedar Point, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get back. But yeah, that's number two, and I think it's obvious what's number one. But if you don't know, let's move on to number one. And to no one's surprise, the coaster I want to ride the most at Cedar Point is Steel Vengeance. It genuinely looks like one of the best roller coasters ever made. And as someone who's ridden an RMC Hyper before, these rides are amazing. So I can't wait to ride Steel Vengeance. Like it genuinely looks like to have an amazing layout. It's in my top 10 bucket list coasters of all time. Probably, I think it's like barely not in my top five bucket list, but still, it looks like such an amazing ride. Like genuinely, I feel like this ride would be perfect. Like the airtime, I don't know if it's intense or not, but it looks really good. It genuinely looks to be like the world's best roller coaster, and I can't really say that about money rides. Like really, you can out of those experience, I could really only say about Zadra and Alpine Fury, but this ride looks a lot better. Maybe not with them both of those, but like it looks really good. and I genuinely can't wait to get my first rides on this. So yeah, like this ride can genuinely make me have RMC as my favorite manufacturer. I feel like I don't know, maybe it might be Intamin by the end of this. I'm not sure, but still, this looks like such an amazing ride. Like, oh my god. Like again, I haven't ridden this, but this will probably be the first ride that I'll make a separate review for from Cedar Point. Like, it genuinely looks to be that good. Like, it's the headlining attraction pretty much of Cedar Point. So yeah, I genuinely can't wait to go. And yeah, I can't wait to go ride this masterpiece. What looks to be a masterpiece of a roller coaster. Like, the airtime looks insane. Like, I'm not really big of an airtime guy myself. I prefer positives, to be honest. But still, this ride looks to be like this ride generally can give Zadra a run for being number one. Like genuinely, the fact like I could generally the lowest I could see this ride being is in my top 5. I can't see it be going any lower. So yeah, that's it for that's number one. Sea of Engines. So yeah, that was the list. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below if you like these types of list videos, and I'll do more. I'll definitely be doing one of my actual lists once we get back from the park. And yeah, there'll also be a bunch of reviews. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye.